If you're used to object-oriented programming, then methods is going to look very similar to you. Now, Go is not an object-oriented programming language, but it does steal some features from those languages. This is an example of that. This is called methods. So with methods, you can take a structure and define them on the various types of your struct. Let's take a look at this. Let's go ahead and create our struct here. We're going to create both these fields as an integer in this structure. So now we want to create a function. In the example that we're doing here, we're doing struct and area. Essentially, we're trying to find the area of the object that we're creating. And return our, we want the width multiplied by the height. So what this is called here is a receiver type. So we're defining the variable here r to rect, which is our structure up here. Then we're creating an area that's going to be an integer. And what we're doing is we're taking the width and the height, getting the sum total of that to get area. Now let's create another function, but in this one, I'm going to do it a little differently because you want to see how you can do this in different ways. And it helps if I spell it right. This time we're going to get the perimeter. And this is going to be an integer, just like our area above. And we're going to return 2 multiplied by our width plus 2 multiplied by our height. So in this one, again, we're calling our structure, we're assigning it r, we're getting the perimeter, which is going to be an integer value, and then we're doing 2 times the width and then adding 2 multiplied by the height. Now let's do our main function. In here, we're going to assign the r because, again, we love using crappy variable names. I swear, the hardest thing to do in programming is variable names. We're going to assign 10 as the width and height as 5. So here we're assigning values to our struct into this variable name that we defined up above here. Now let's do our normal trick. Area is this, r dot area. Again, we're calling those dot values, and then we're going to do the perimeter and r dot rim. There we go. Let's just go ahead, since we've only got 3 lines left. Let's finish this out before we run it. And now we're assigning our p variable name to the pointer reference of r, which is our assigned value structure variable up here. And we're going to do, essentially we're doing the exact same thing. Let's cheat. Copy, paste. Okay, let's save that. There we go. Now our area and perimeter, 50 and 30. Area and perimeter, 50 and 30. Again, with these methods, we're calling in 2 different ways. We're calling the pointer reference Here we're just calling the variable name. What is the difference between calling those two? There's a rule of thumb that you need to remember. Encourage you to take a look at the Effective Go methods section because it talks about this. I'm just going to read from the Effective Go book because I like the way they worded this. The rule about pointers versus values for receivers is that value methods can be invoked on pointers and values, but pointer methods can only be invoked on pointers. So in other words, if you start calling a pointer, you need to call on a pointer throughout the whole thing. You call on a value, then you can call on that value, or you can call on the pointer of that value. That's why we're doing it here as a value, and then we're calling the pointer for that value in our examples. So with methods, again, just to recap, you create your structure, and then you can use that structure in your methods to create functions that allows you to call them later and assign values to your structure and then easily pull those values to get the results that you're looking for. Again, this is just yet another way of manipulating and working with data in Golang. So our next video is going to be on interfaces.